Tom here in the loft today, doing episode 28 or update 28 of the loft layout. So we're going to turn the camera around now and we'll have a look at what I've been up to. Okay, so I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so this is the second layer of Hunter Green that I'm applying to the Harbour scene base, and even without putting the realistic water on, doesn't half improve the scene. Like I say, I had this section of board, it was just bright white for so long. It's just nice to have a few different colours on it now. So that'll be ready for the water coat once all the mess is out the way above. But just for now it looks so much better. I do prefer this colour as well. I did try the olive drab, but it was too brown and looked like a, like a bit of a sludgy mess, and I want the water here to look a bit cleaner, so I opted for the green. I was tempted by the blue as well, but so many to choose from. Anyway, let's move on to the next bit. Right, just going to add another layer of grey. I've just mixed up a slightly darker coat. So the way I've just sort of been doing it is just trying to dry the brush off a bit and dry brush it on, because I don't want it to paint all the stone, just sort of highlighting it so the lighter grey shows up through the back, especially the mortar. I think what I'll do to finish this off is put a wash coat of black paint on it as well, which is what I sort of done with the back. It's a slightly different shade of grey, but they are completely different stones. So my excuse is that this harbour's been built and rebuilt a couple of times over, so they've used different stone. So I'm just trying to hide the joints a little bit. Okay, so I've painted all that for now, so I'm just going to move on to this little bit here. Again, it's all part of creating the theme of an abandoned mine. So what I was going to do was, I was just going to take that piece of track out and I was hoping to make it a bit more interesting by adding a longer piece here. So I've got an old battered up piece of flexi track that I'm never going to use for a running line, and drilled a few holes in the sleepers. I put some very thin track pins in, purely because this is all basically filler, so it shouldn't take much to stick it down. So again, I thought that might make a nice effect going towards the harbour wall and make it a bit more interesting. And I'm going to put the crane somewhere here once it's painted up. I did do a little hole there, but I might put it closer to the siding here, and that way I can load stuff onto the boat either from there or from here perhaps. So I just thought that track looked a bit pointless when it was only an inch long, so it looks a bit better now as a demonstration track. So I'm going to glue this down now, push these pins in to hold it in place till it goes off, and then we'll move on to the next section. Right, I've just put a bit of PVA down, so I'm just going to try and slot that in there if I can. There we go. And then should try and push these pins in. See, like I say, because it is just foam board and filler on this section of the board, I thought it'd be okay to just pre-drill the holes and just push the pins in. I can always push the pins out again if I need to. Right, so that's okay there. I'm just going to put a bit of weight down on this bit so it stays in the turntable section. So that should do the trick, just till it goes off a bit. Okay, that's another little section done. Okay, I'll put the final grey coat on the narrow gauge platform finally, and I've put the Tamiya masking tape down, and I'm just going to put a coat of white on the edge. So this is just model colour off-white. I'm just using this because it's quite thick, and it's not going to be a brilliant bright white anyway. It's going to be dulled out and obviously weathered, so I thought that would be alright. So I've just put a bit into an old decoder box. I'm just going to paint across the front then. I'm not too worried of it getting on the side. I'll just touch that up with the grey paint because I've still got more grey painting to do, touching up the rockery and so on. So I think that'll look good when that's finished off. Like I say, once the building's done, painted up, tidied up a bit, I can see where my lights are going then. Okay, so while we wait for the paint to dry, so I can do another layer of the white before we remove the masking tape, I'm going to start doing some of the long awaited ballasting on the narrow gauge track. So this is what I'm using: Woodland Scenics Fine Ballast in grey. I've got my ballast spreader over here, so I've filled it up. Let's just see how it goes here now. I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time, so it is sharp curve, so yeah, not going quite to plan, but hey ho. I think it might be a job with the spoon, I think, for the next bit, but here we go. It's roughly in place, and just got to start dabbing it in with the brush, and then we'll start putting some glue down. Right, so the first bit of ballast is down. I've gone in far into the tunnel as I could reach really, without it getting in the way. And I've just got this old Graham Farish N-gauge wagon out because it's got the old-fashioned deep wheels for the old Mini Tricks track. And I just thought that would be a good little test there, just to make sure that there's no stone in the way of any of the rails. And I used to derail it. Just go over it all a few times, make sure there's nothing in the way. And I know then that it's ready for gluing. I've left the ballast a bit further back here because what I noticed with this wagon is again, it came in handy using this wagon. As you can see, it doesn't like this bit here. There's a little bit of excess solder from when I've soldered the wires to the track. It's sticking out a little bit, so I'm going to resolder that just in case it affects any of the 009 rolling stock in the future. And I'll also maybe think it probably best add a few more wires to some of the sidings in case of DC fit the layout eventually, so it's all, so it can be all live, and also if there's any dead spots it'll help hopefully improve the running quality. So again, it's only a small section, but at least it's it looks like a bit of progress there. Right, this has also had 2 layers of white on it now, so let's see what it looks like. I'm hoping it's right first time because I don't really want to be doing another layer. I've gone over the tape a little bit there. You can see a few splodges of white. That doesn't matter. I'll touch them bits over with the grey paint, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That'll do me just nicely. Like I say, it's not going to be an immaculate white line. It's going to be weathered and faded and so on. And so yeah, and like I say, we'll touch over those white bits with the grey, and then the platform's virtually ready then for the building. I might just add another white line onto this side as well, just to add a bit more effect to it. But yeah, happy with it as it is now. Okay, let's take a look at how far we've got. So I've done another couple of coats on the Harbour walls here. I've done a little wash of black paint as well on top, just to darken it up a little bit, and there's a few dry brushes of white paint mixed in. I mean, that looks pretty good now. I'm quite happy with it. We've also got our fully painted platform now, ready for the station building and lights. And I swapped this little tiny piece of track, which was a bit pointless, to a nice little curved track into the harbour there. We've got our Rapido pannier tank on the Heritage line at the moment, doing the rounds. Over here we've got a nice little ratio building. I built this from a kit last week, and it's just got a few different shades of brown paint all weathered up, and then a wash coat of black again. Same on the tiles. Well, that looked pretty good. I've had this kit for years. It came free in the Railway Modeller magazine. I thought it's about time I built it and put it somewhere on the layout, so that was a nice little project. It literally took me 10-15 minutes to glue together, and you know, a night's worth of painting. But I think it goes nicely on that scene. Might maybe move it over. Not fully decide whether it's going there or not. We're starting to add the scene together now. Now I've got more of these bits of timber here as well, somewhere. There we go. So I've got to place them. I've just painted them up, so I've got to glue them on now and see what it's like. Over here we've got our first bit of ballast on the narrow gauge line. So I've hoovered up the excess, so it does need touching up a little bit. I've just put a bit of this earth powder down from Woodland Scenics just to fill that gap in for now. I'll probably put some like overgrown bushes or like bits of green flock in there just to build it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy how it's coming along now. I'm going to try and do a more consistent grey colour along here, just to give the impression of you know, like the edge of the harbour sort of things, people to walk around. And then we'll start adding some static grass and stuff over to this bit. Over here now, I was going to start ballasting it, and then one last minute check revealed that this point was a bit faulty, and then it turned out to be that point. So I might set this one working fine, so I'm going to check that it works okay over the next few days before I consider ballasting it. This one I had to replace. Luckily I had a spare point, which I was going to use over here, because I was toying with taking this point out and putting this point in, so that I could have the point here, which would make these two sidings a lot longer, because I'm finding it difficult to find a space for this water tower. So I'm still thinking about it. I would have to buy another point and some more flexi track if I was going to go ahead and do it. So let me know what you think. Am I going to gain much from... So this point here would have to become a right hand point, it would be here. So I'd probably gain about 2.5, maybe 3 inches of siding space. But when the layout is eventually digital, it might be better to replace this insul frog point anyway, because you know, it's not wide up for it. But yeah, this, I'm struggling to find a space for this water tower. I did ideally want it next to the shed because it's got similar stonework. The other option was putting it here, but then that puts it too close to that siding and too close to that one. And then the other option again, I'd have to move that line side hut, was to have it here. So I'm still playing around with certain things. That's why I don't want to rush anything. You know, it's taking forever to do, but I want to get it right if it's going to be here for the next 20 odd years. So we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to put the camera back on the tripod now, and we'll go over what I'm going to add to the scene. Okay, so I've moved on to well, what I'm hoping to do for the next update, or get done for the next update. But just quickly, forgot to mention the base here. Obviously you've painted this, and just going back to what we said, was I did do a coat of that first and I didn't really like it, so I moved on to the Hunter Green. There's so many different colours to choose from for a harbour scene. I was tempted by the light blue, but I thought I'll go for the green because it is relatively still water. I think just like I mentioned earlier, just by painting it, it looks so much better now. I'm not going to touch the fake water till everything else is done. I don't want any like ballast or anything getting into it, so you know, again, it is a bit of a slow process, but that'll have to wait for now. But just having it painted, I think, looks so much better. Now over here we've got the new track here. We've also got this crane. Now I purchased this off eBay. Again, I mentioned it in the whole video, our last video, and it's very nice. Started touching it up. What I didn't realise at the time was, because I only glanced at it when I got out of the packet, was this was snapped off. I thought it was just two separate parts, but it wasn't. And I didn't have any cable for the actual crane. I was going to use string, but it looked far too thin. So I messaged the seller, and you know, I said, you know, I fixed up the damaged part easily enough. I just wanted to work or what they used for cable, so I could get some. And a few days later, he sent me this, which was a massive surprise. I wasn't expecting it, and I certainly, you know, didn't want to come across as I was complaining. But he sent me two new cranes. So we've got the narrow gauge crane, which is what I already had. So you can see the cable there. So and it's all in one piece. So that's amazing. And even more amazing, we've got this bigger crane, which is probably more for a harbour scene, as the seller told me. I did message him to say thank you, and you know, I didn't want him to be out of pocket, but he said, you know, he just made up that I didn't, you know, make an issue of it with the problem with the last one. So you know, the least I can do is you know, show you what products he's got. So that's the name there, and I think there's contact details on here somewhere. See at the bottom of the instructions. Like I say, he's on well-known auction site, and if anyone's interested, I'll include the link in the description. They not only do cranes, they do narrow gauge 009 buildings as well, which you know, I've only seen the unpainted versions, but they look great. So anyone who's into narrow gauge, check this out and have a look. Like I say, I was looking for ages for cranes, and I was going to get a Bachmann one, but I couldn't justify the price, and it didn't really suit what I wanted to do. But I think these look brilliant, you know. And there's so many of these smaller businesses like 3D printing and resin models, you know, they're worth giving the business to because they are cheaper, and it's encouraging people to do more kit building and more scratch building rather than just buy a ready-made product from the shop. So I think Budget Model Railways touched up on that subject as well, so it is part of the fun, assembling them, painting them up. Anyway, yeah, that was really nice. So, you know, if Mark's listening, thank you very much. Yeah, you're an absolute star. So yeah, that's great, and I'll definitely find a space on the layout for the second one. So I've just, you know, sort of plonked that in position just so we can work out what we're doing to it. In fact, I'll just zoom the camera in. Right, so it's obviously not functional, but you just imagine it's taking goods off the wagon, turning around and blonking it in the boat. So I might get, you know, a different type of boat in the future, but again, it's all supposed to be just a museum site. And we turn over towards the station area here. Now this is a building I've had for a long time. It cost me 50 pence. So I've just added, in fact I'll just zoom out a little bit. Sorry for the shaky camera. And, as usual, I'm trying to do it all in one go rather than being a bit patient. We just put a coat of cream on it for now, and I experimented with putting red on it like I've done with the little signal box on the museum layout. Not too sure if I like it yet, and I might switch to brown or like a dark green or something. But the idea is to do up this building. The gutters haven't been put on properly, so I might take them off and put a new set on, because it's gone under the roof rather than in front of it. But otherwise, it's a nice little building. I took the old signs off it and I've rubbed down the glue marks. You know, there's still some visible there, but it just adds to the ruggedness of the building. and once it's weathered up it'll look like a part of the agent. Obviously filled in a bit there that was snapped off, and all I need to do is find some sort of chimney to go on the back here. I'm not desperate for the moment because you're only going to see it from the front, but hopefully I'll come across something I can use as a chimney there. And that's our station building. I've got new signs to go on there as well once it's all painted up. So, and then also for the station, we've got these lights, again mentioned earlier. So we'll have 3 or 4 of them plonked along the station. And we also want to fit at least 1 yard lamp by the engine shed. So we'll have 2 lights. Again, sorry, I'll move over the camera. 2 lights at the front of the shed, and we'll have a yard lamp, same as these over here. Just see if they'll turn on now, like that. So I've got 1 of those left. So plenty to be getting on with. And obviously, I'll hopefully have decided by next time what I'm doing with this track, or someone can help me make my mind up. Should I leave it as it is, or should I buy another point and try and extend those 2 sidings a little bit? So it's one of them really. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, hopefully decide on that soon. Do 1 final check of the running of the track, and then we'll get it all ballasted, and then we can move on to the lights. And then we've also got the finer details. We've got benches, people. Hoping to get. I've got a few fisherman figures, so got plenty to add to the harbour scene yet, and maybe even a few tourists. So I think that's that for that update. Hope you like it, and we'll finish off with a few running shots of the layout. And as always, please put your comments in, and like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next video. So again, see you soon, and bye for now.